So welcome to a new video. The last time I've been working in this wonderful Denise Love art journal, I worked on this spread and I was a bit continuing with the colors that are also on the cover of the book, the front cover. And now, today, I am going to the second spread, and that's a very interesting one because she has already filled in some things. Now I am about to cover the book to protect it. And it's not a problem at all. If this is getting messy, maybe I want to use it for another book. And because it's elastic, it fits around any book. I think it's officially meant for A5 size books. But because it's elastic, you can turn it, you can wrap it around any book you want. So I want to stay in the color palette that Denise suggested to me on this page. And I had a lovely leaf here. I found it in the garden and it has a lovely shape. So that's definitely something I want to use for this project. I also selected, well, these are some of the papers that Denise has sent to me. Like this one is also in the book somewhere. I don't show it now because it's what you see, it's matching the page very well. So maybe I'll use that one too. But there are also some other items like this one, which I could probably use. This is the same paper that's here, so maybe I can use that one too. And well, we just have to see. There's already something sticking out of the book from my previous page, and that's this one. Then we would go for orange again. That means that we need to add something orange here. I don't know if I'm going for orange yet. I first take a piece of paper from this and that, and what I'll be doing is maybe create a little more color here. And I see it as a challenge to mix up the color that is already in this paper. So I have some Naples yellow, I have some pale olive, and I think that will be already good. Has to be a little more green, I think. It's a bit lighter. It looks like the same color that Denise has used here. So maybe I need to add a little, maybe green gold to get that exact color or in the same direction. Let's see. Yes, this is perfect. And I could simply add a little spot here. I don't want to overlap everything that she has done so carefully, like the pattern here. I really enjoy that one. So it's nice to have just some spaces filled in with that same light color. I could even make it a little darker or a little lighter. Like here, I can do it a little lighter. And then I don't have to do much on this. But I was thinking about this part. What can you do with such page? And I find it little, well, how do you say that? I don't want to harm this page. I just love this, what's going on here. But what I could do is simply add a little pattern, which is a little darker. So I overlap it on the other side and I get this amazing blue right out of my brush. And just see what will be happening if I overlap this page. And then we have this, wow, this funny pattern. And you see, it's also a bit on this part of the page. And this is matching the blue that Denise has already used. So I used the color of blue a little here as well. I overlap the parts that are still a little white. And so I think this is already very nice. And I could do, of course, the same to this page and just put a little of this color here. And you see this works amazingly well. It's just great. I don't overlap all the green of this page because it's really wonderful if it's still visible. And now we turn the page and look what we have there. That's amazing. So I feel like I want to work on this page as well. But this needs to dry first because otherwise I can't. This will stick together. So I use the hairdryer for drying this whole part, and then I see what I will be doing next. So we have this pretty page and we have this pretty page, and look, if I turn around, you see here's another, you see the blue spot coming out of the shapes, out of the holes of the paper. It's really lovely paper, and you see, just in case you have a color you don't want to, you can simply overpaint it, and it's just wonderful. Let's see what I have, because I think this is already going in a good direction. I could add simply another piece of this, but it could be. Maybe it will be nice if I do that. Just a little corner of this. And what I could also do is just, oh, look how this is tearing. It's wonderful. I think there's straw in it or something. So I can give it a little organic shape. I love that kind of paper. I often use straw paper and it's just tearing so wonderfully. Oh, it's just great. What I could do is add this to the page, and I could also maybe add it here. But what I could do is simply overpaint it a little, so it's not exactly the same color. So when you turn the page around, then you will see another color of that paper. I think it will be very nice if I do that. So I just take a little of the green gold and a little of the pale olive and see, well, maybe we can do it here. Then we still, we again have a place where something is existing already. So you see it's getting slightly darker. Maybe I will make it even a little more dark, like here. It doesn't have to be the same color everywhere. So then we take it off carefully and see what will be happening. Another pattern on this page. Well, I watch out that this won't cling together, and you see if I overlap this with this kind of paper, it's just great. So I'm going to glue it. There's my glue. And then you can also turn it around and see if it's in a nice direction, but I think this will be doing well. There's still some paint on it, but I don't mind. It's the color of paint that I used for the full page. So that's very nice. I think it's very nice. And I think that if I just add this little leaf here, it's already good. It's just fun to create well, kind of movement in the painting. So this goes on there, then you go to the leaf, and then you go to this. What we also could do is make another stem from this leaf, but I have more of those in the garden. It's autumn, right? So there are a lot of leaves in my garden. And I'm not sure if I will be working with fabrics today. Well, just let's see what's happening. The fun thing about art journaling is that you often can use what's just around the corner or just on your table accidentally. And this leaf I found when I was taking the dustbin that was outside, that was in the street to, and now I took the empty dustbin home and I found this lovely tree in our garden, oh, this lovely leaf in my garden, and I overlap it to keep it flat from the inside out. If I do it from this way to the inside, then it's that's probably, it breaks probably, so I don't know. The glue will dry up transparently, so that's not a problem. Now I think this is already a very, very, very nice page, but let's see what else can we do with it. I can add some pieces of fabric. I really love this one and it's matching the color perfectly, but I think I won't have space. It's kind of a thick paper, so maybe I can add it in. Let's see what will be happening here. If I do that, then you see this color is already popping up. So then I probably need to do something with that color. I have some fabrics from Denise Love, her wonderful box, and this one is great, but I think it's too much and it's too heavy because this is a very thin page. So I think it's too heavy, but this is a very transparent one, which I could use. It's matching the color. Not exactly, but it's possible I could also use it here and then it's shining through on my page. So I will be doing a double spread today because I think this page, this spread is also belonging to that part of the page. Oh, you see the leaf coming through? That's very nice. And what I could also do is paint this part a little because then these dots aren't the same color. So I will do that and make it maybe a little lighter than I have it here. I'm just playing around and I'm not thinking too much. I'm just using the things that I have right on my palette and right on my brush because I don't clean my brush often. That's because I just feel like I wanna use what I have and stay true to what I have. So what I try to do is give a little to that color of the fabric. So I put a little pale umber to the color, and I think that will be the same like color. A little the same like color at least. Maybe I have to do it once more because I think it's needing a little brown or something. But you can already see that these shapes aren't the same color now anymore. I have to be very careful that I don't overpaint things that I don't want to be overpainted. So what I'm going to be doing is take the hairdryer again. So what we have here right now is very spring-like page. I think it's very spring-like, and this one doesn't need that much attention anymore because this one I think it feels almost like finished. Maybe I can do something with continuing the patterns what she done here, and I could also maybe fill in this lighter part with a little pale umber. But first I want to see what I will be doing on this page. And you see the effect is not super, super, super strong. So maybe I have to make this lighter. I have to see what I'll be doing. But first I want to fill in this page. And where was my piece of fabric? Maybe I want to add this one in because it's really wonderful, but it's so thick. Yeah, it's lovely to have it here. But that also means that I need to bring in another color that I haven't featured yet on this page because it's kind of coming through the surface, and I don't think that I want this color in right now. But what I could do, I could go for this one, and I have a lot of that because my friend Nina, she gave me this wonderful piece of fabric, and I also used this for the book that I gave to Denise Love for our art journal swap. So that's really cool. If I let it come back, I let it return here, and because this color of blue is also matching, and there's a little green in it as well, so maybe I can just add a little, well, strip of that at the side of the book, because it's very straight and it's very thick. So what I'll be doing is just mix a color that it's kind of neutral, like maybe the pale umber thing, to do the background. And there are some colors still in my background, so I can use them as well to give it a nice look. And I don't leave much white in the book, so hope you don't mind, Denise. Your wonderful paper is being colored now. You see this color is also coming. It's also in my piece of fabric. I don't want to overlap this all, so I keep a watery brush so this nice background is still visible. I am always very careful using lots of water. I am not a watercolor person. I love it when other people do it, but when I do it myself, I often stumble upon pages that are getting broken, and I think this is real watercolor paper. So that doesn't happen here. It's very good quality paper. It just bubbles a little, but I think when after it's dried and laid flat, then it's really okay. So with the Dina Wakely journals, I often have this when I use a lot of water. I often have this, and that the page is getting damaged, and I'm pulling off pieces of paper, and that's something I don't like about the Dina Wakely books. I really love those books, but having your own paper is very good. Oh, it's happening here too, like this. And I always have the problem. So if anyone has tips to prevent that, maybe I use simply too much water. But I think this is a very nice surface to work with. And maybe I have to add a little, as I said, a little from that pale umber to give it a little piece. And I wanted to do that with the palette knife, as it's very, well, very, oh, this is also very nice when you work on a wet surface. I know I don't usually don't do that. Keep a little white in the page. Put this aside a little. I love that. Maybe I wanna let that come back here as well, a little. Not everywhere, but just a little. So that it's coming back everywhere. And what I want to do is maybe put in a little more of the blue-like color, blue mixed with a little pale amber, pale olive. And I'm very careful with mixing colors. I love mixing colors, but I also am very careful with bringing too many colors together. I just love the process of taking what you have again, there it is again, taking what you have and use that for your palette and just feel what's nice together. These are colors that I normally don't use. This is already pretty bright for me. I have one color which is actually no acrylic paint, and I think I want to put that in. That's this one. It's actually chalk paint, but I think I want to have this color in. It's a bit of a strange color. It's almost a color that I already have. But I love it. So I have to look because it's maybe not that dominant for this page now. So maybe I have to add a little Payne's gray to it because the color here is not Payne's gray. I don't know what the color is. It's what somebody left this morning when they were painting. So I just take a little bit because I think it will be a lot darker already when I add it to this part. Maybe it's too dark, but maybe not. It looks like a doorway or something. Maybe I'm going to make a doorway from this part. I don't know yet. And just overlap it with a little of the chalk paint. And maybe a bit of that. I just put the colors on the page and I'm just seeing if I like it or not, or is it still matching this little piece of fabric. I can let it go if I want to, but maybe I have to put a little more like these colors inside to get a little of that color. Yeah, that's great. A little more of that chalk. I lost my pattern, but I don't mind. See, I think when I add a little part of this, then it will be great, and just a little part of it will be enough. That's a good thing about working in a small book. You see that you don't need a large amount of supplies to support you. I also have this one. Oh, that will be nice. That's the one that is also in the spine of the book, but maybe I just need a little part of it because I don't want to use it all. I want to have something for later art projects. This is a very calm color. It's Anthony's t-shirt. It could be wonderful here as well, but I have used that one a lot of times already. Here I have a very cute piece of fabric, which maybe even does better than the one that I originally took, this one, because it's very thick. So maybe I will go for this one instead of this one. I finally got all my colors and then I go for that one. Okay. Maybe I can go for both of them, because when I use this one, for example, a little here, then I can still use it. Maybe I take out a flower. It's a very nice one. Let's see what I have. I have some more things. I have thin paper like this, but I think that's too green. I have selected some larger pieces of paper, but they are too dark. I want to stay in this color palette, so I definitely go for this piece here, or that one. This one could also be an option, to have it just overlapped for a little bit. And I had this wonderful piece. No, this is a Tibetan wind flag. It's also wonderful, but I just have one left, so I won't use it for this page because I think it will be easy to create this page with the things that I have right now. I don't want to put too heavy things on this part, so I have to look what is the next step. I had a piece of fabric, but it's now gone, and I think it's on the other table where I have the hairdryer. No, yes it is. So maybe what I could do is add a little of this fabric. It's matching. It's matching, so I think I'll just do a little of it. A little. It's the one I also used for Meta's book. I could also do it here, because this is not that heavy. I think it would be nice to do it there. And put another piece here. So I don't want to use it all. And I let it fray a little by just cutting a little part of it, but it seems it doesn't work out right now. Like this. And then I simply use a little of it here and I use a little of it there. And maybe overlap this part. And then I have to be careful because of the glue. It's coming to the holes of the patterned paper or straw paper. So I really have to make sure that I'm taking the hairdryer again after this gluing down. And I don't want to have too much glue on my fabric. And I can still bend it a little, make it a bit larger. And I think this won't be too heavy for this paper. And some people of my art journal group were asking me, what do you do with the pages that are already so beautiful by the colors that are already in it? And I think you have to take care of them in a very, how do you say that, thoughtful way, to keep it subtle, and don't use too many things to fill them up, but give them a little relationship to the other pages that are on the right or on the left, if you put it this way. And you see it's very nicely, when you turn the page around, you still see a little of this layer. And I love layered working, so this is for me, well, one of the things I love the most. So I can turn it around and see if it's nicer if I do it like this. I think it is. I have to be careful because this part that I did with a palette knife is very wet still, so I don't want to have that paint on that green part. And you see it's very textural. Here is a kind of thick part in the fabric that I want to have out. I hope it works, and otherwise I have to take the scissors and cut it off because I thought it was too straight and too thick. I just need little pieces of paper to overlap, and then I have that nice texture of this paper coming back there. Here is a very light part of the page, and I want to keep it that way because there will be enough things going on this page. And here is a piece of, oh, it's a thread. It's, I believe it's coming from that square squared one like this. I think it's coming from this. It's all sticking out, but maybe it will be nice to have more of those things into the paint. I think it sticks to the paint. Yes. And where's my pattern paper? Here. I have to take a little part out of it and just paste it. I will give this a nice place. And again, I don't need much of it. Oh no, it's sticking to my finger. Again, I don't need much of it. So let's keep it simple. Like, I want to overlap part of this page. Oh, I also love this. This just happening. It's coming from the other one. It's red, but it's nice to have those kind of things in your art journal. So I have to work a little faster because I need the hairdryer. I think this would be enough. Maybe it will be even too much. I think this will be enough. And this piece of fabric is so wonderful that I don't know if this is the back or that. I think this is the front and this is the back. It doesn't matter. I'm going to use this one, and if I am at a point of having a pink background, I could use that part of the fabric. It doesn't really matter. I often use the back of things because I think it's more subtle. It's more, well, normally when I glue down fabrics, I put the glue on the paper, but there's now still a lot of paint on the paper, so I just do it on the fabric in my hands, so my hands are covered with glue. Yes, I love that. And now we have a piece of fabric, and I love the threads that are sticking out, and I put it halfway the page, and I don't mind if it's sticking a little out of the book. And then I can just put the threads where I want to have them. or I simply take them out, or I put them somewhere else. Like I can put them on the left part of the page, like here, overlap it a bit with this tiny little thread. And I think this one is already good this way. So what I will be doing is taking the hairdryer again and then see what else needs to be, well, be in this, on this spread. Now I have this page in front of me, and you see this is almost the same color, so maybe I have to do something with this once more. I love this, and that is all coming back. There's still glue on my fingers. When I turn the page around, you see it's looking very nice. You see something's coming through the surface. It's already revealing a bit, a glimpse of what's coming up next. And here on the other hand, you see, especially this is good contrast. So here, maybe I can make it a little darker. I also love this color very much, so I don't know, I'm not sure. Something happened to the red threads. Maybe I don't have to add them in. On this page, I still want to have a lighter background, not white, but maybe like this or like this, but watery. I see that that worked out fine. So what I could do is do that first and then see what will be on this page, because here is my dominant thing, the leaf. And here I found this wonderful flower, and maybe I can simply put it here because it's a whole flower. I can cut it out and I put it here, or I draw something myself. I'm not sure yet, but let's see. First I will do something with this page, and I have to do it very watery. I still have some colors on my palette, and I have to see if this is nice. I think it's nice. I don't want to overlap that yummy pattern that Denise has made, but I don't want it to be too white, because there's no white in the other pages too. So here I will add a little more of this soft background color, and I simply overlap some parts of the white. That's why I always start with a background, because I never want white in a page, and I'm getting easier with using white, but I don't like it when it's too white. And here I can make maybe some texture with the palette knife. And maybe it's good to have a little, well, darker spot here in the corner. Let the colors blend. There will be no very, well, different colors than I used before. Here is a little white spot that I don't want to have. I hope this is the same color. It's a bit too dark. Then I add some lighter color in. I don't mind that it isn't exactly the same color, but I will mix it up with my finger. Yeah, it's quite nice. Yep. So this page is, I think it's finished. And I have part of this orangey thing, but I don't know if I want that in this particular page. It could be an option. If I do it like this, then it's a bit of a continuation from my previous page that I took with me, and I think it's a perfect solution. And maybe I have something to put there. I will look for that. because Denise sent me a wonderful gift with all kind of fabrics and little tiny pieces of lace. And maybe if I find it, maybe I can add that to my journal. But I don't know if I can find it. My bundle is already gone. Maybe I can find it, but I don't think. For example, I will show you what I mean. For example, you have this little lace thing. I can cover it up with that kind of lace thing, but then I need it smaller. For example, here it is. Just when I need it. So I can do it like this, but I think this one is a little too large because we also have this leaf and I don't want to be, I want this to be the most dominant part of the page. So what I'll be doing is pasting this one already. Pasting this one and it goes to that one nicely. So like this. Then I can cover it like this. And what I could even do is keep them loose and make it like a kind of elastic band that I only put those things together. That I don't glue them down, but I can hang something on it. And I think that's a very nice option too. I will be doing that. There's glue on my page, but it doesn't matter. I will take that away a bit. And then I can simply add something underneath. I never done this before. I think it's a funny way to explore new things. When you do an art journal swap, you see it's never going to be the same as when you work on your own. This is very nice. This one, maybe I can add it here instead of the flower that I just showed you. And I lost it right now. That's a sign. Those things are really signs to me, like when you lose something that was all the time on your table and suddenly it's gone. It's mostly a sign, but I found it back, so it's no sign at all. I can go for this flower or I could go for this one. And this one, I think it's very subtle. It's very, well, it's very nice on this page. I always wonder if I have just one of this. Can I do something else? Do I really need it? Like, I don't want to spend this tiny little thing. Do I want to spend this tiny little thing on this page? Or do I want to keep it for another project? Because I have just one of it. I simply can't choose. I can also go for a part of this, but I also used that one already for Meta's journal. I won't be using this one. Well, let's see. There's just one more option. And I could also go for drawing something myself because I really love to do things myself. You see me art journaling now with fabrics and mostly doing things with composition, but I also love drawing things myself. But I think this tiny little flower could also be a sun, and I really love it. It's not exactly the same color as here. That will be my only reason to not to do it. Let's see. And it's quite thick. I don't mind that, but it's like, it's not exactly the same color, but it's matching. I go for it. I could also go for this part. go for the back again, then it's more subtle, but I think this one is a better one. And if I add something to a page which is not completely the same color, then I often make it match by using a color that's also here. So I could go for the green gold, for example, and do a little green gold here or here. It doesn't really matter because I have green gold here as well. So I could go for a little more a green light color to put it here. There's far too much paint on my brush that I don't want to have. So I take a new one and I clean everything afterwards. And then we go for that color that this flower has. And it's very easy to paint on this paper. And it's very nice because it's corresponding with these colors as well. And those are just all shades of green, blue, turquoise. And now we have another thing. It's not exactly the same color as the flower there, but then here we have some more dots overlapping Denise's pattern a little and overlapping my leaf a little. I can take that off. So that's nice. And maybe I want to add a little more dark. So I have to add a little more green gold, I think, to make it match. Because this is really like green gold color. Now again, there's something on my leaf, but I don't mind. I don't mind because I can take it off when I am in time. And I think this page is finished. I will once more take the hairdryer and I will show you the final result. So that's it. I've just done one more thing, and that's making this rectangle a little darker with by adding some hooker's green and what's that color? Van Dyke brown to the green gold to make it a little darker to see these spots that were here from the previous time. You see that they are brighter now. There's more contrast, so there's more shining through the surface. I put something underneath to prevent them from turning that same color again. I noticed that this paper is very fragile. If you have it too wet, then these holes will be bigger. But at the same time, adding paint to those pages are making them stronger. So you have to do it very carefully, but it's very good to handle. And it's just wonderful to create a lovely page out of it. And if you turn the page around, you have this part. And I am very happy with that too, because it's not too dominant, it's not too wild. And I could even add something. For example, I found these little threads. I could add one thread, maybe not on this page, but on this page, because it's also the same like color, dark blue. I could add a little thread to it to give it a little, finishing touch. It doesn't need it though, so I think I'll leave it this way. What I could do is give the flower a little stalk that is not going in the air or behaving like a sun. Well, it isn't a sun at all. Do I have a longer piece? I don't have a longer piece here. This is lighter blue. I think that's better. I could also, I think this one is longer too. So I could add that as a stalk to give it a, well, kind of connection, a vertical movement to the page. So I will do that, and that's my final thing on this page. The funny thing is that the book that I created for Denise was in the same color palette as this, and I was already thinking like, oh, I miss that color palette so much. So now it's coming back to me in Denise's book, and that's a very funny thing to discover, that if you want to go on with something, you want to continue a project, it's always coming back in another project. So this is my page. I don't know which I find the best one, but well, leave it here or there or here or there. It's magical. I just love these papers. I just love this. This is also something funny. It's the Hookers green mixed with Van Dyke brown, and then you see other patterns. It's very nice. You could color those holes with um, marker or something, and then you see the contrast in the next page. It's very nice. So I'm very grateful that I was allowed to work on this wonderful spread created by Denise. And well, you don't see there's much left of her, but you still see the patterns here and here and here, and this. Oh, there can be something underneath. I don't know yet what it would be, but I think it's very nice. And maybe this color I found a little too blue, but it's okay. It's okay because it's here as well, and here it's turning into more green like blue, which is also in the fabric. So I'm very happy with these pages. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, give it a thumbs up without glue. And if you put glue on your iPhone or on your keyboard or whatever, it turned out that things are getting broken. So please wash your hands after painting. And well, I see you next time. If you like the channel, please subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on a notification bell so you won't miss the next page. See you later. Bye.